Origins of Gamora. The sole surviving member of the Zenhobri, Gamora, was saved as a child by Thanos. Through Thanos' augmentation and training she became a highly skilled and feared galactic assassin. Using her new formidable skills and abilities, she gained the reputation and title of the deadliest woman in the universe. She eventually turned good and became a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy. The Zenhobri was a population who were wiped out by Beiduin. However, in the original storyline they were killed by the Universal Church of Truth. Gamora was the only one of the Zenhobri that survived. Thanos discovered Gamora alive and decided to save and train her as a weapon to use against and kill the Magus. Thanos made sure Gamora was raised with discipline, though he did on occasion show her affection as a father would show his child, such as celebrating the pagan Yule with elements of Christmas. Through rigorous training she would become a highly skilled master of various martial arts from throughout the universe. Even though Gamora was learning and becoming a master martial artist, she still had more to learn. While still a young girl, she went on a trip with Thanos. Though explicitly against Thanos' orders and warning, out of curiosity she decided to venture planet-side, where she fell into an ambush set up by a group of thugs. The attackers used their numerical advantage and were able to defeat her in spite of her great skill. She was severely injured in the fight and gang raped. Near death, her proverbial knight in shining armor arrived in the form of Thanos, who quickly dispatching the assailants. Thanos recovered the apologetic and near-death Gamora. After returning to Sanctuary, Thanos restored and augmented Gamora. This was achieved via bionic implants and replacement parts of Thanos' own design. These physical and power upgrades made her an equal to Adam Warlock's own physical abilities. She also received specialized training and abilities including resistance to reality distortion as well as an accelerated healing factor, that rivals even Wolverine's. Her purpose was to kill Magus, Adam's evil godlike counterpart. When Gamora grew to adulthood it was time for her to begin the mission she had trained for all her life, to go after Magus and the Universal Church of the Truth. Her abilities and skill made her a dreaded assassin. She was able to get close to Magus but failed in her assassination attempt. This failure forced Thanos to take a more direct role in the affair. Thus he teleported to her location and joined forces with Warlock and Pip. The Magus however had other plans and ordered 25,000 of his Black Knights to attack Warlock and any companions. This forced the allies to fight through the attack and ultimately escape the Chich's homeworld via Thanos teleporting them all aboard Sanctuary. Even though this assassination attempt failed in due course the Magus was defeated. Soon after Thanos sent Gamora on a new mission, to befriend and keep tabs on Adam, in an attempt to prevent her from learning of his true nature and ambitions. However, before she could truly start her mission the spacecraft she was piloting came under attack from Drax the Destroyer, whose sole purpose in life was to destroy Thanos. Drax had targeted Gamora's ship due to her relationship to Thanos and destroyed the ship. As Gamora lay dying, her ally Adam Warlock was able to take her soul into his soul gem. It was after this that Gamora eventually discovered that Thanos was obsessed with death and planned to commit stellar genocide and quit serving her master and adopted father. Soul World existed inside the soul gem. This was where Gamora, Pip and eventually Adam Warlock existed in peace. Years later, when Thanos returns from the dead, Soul World is visited by the Silver Surfer and Drax the Destroyer, who are there seeking aid from Adam Warlock, who with the aid of Master Order and Lord Chaos was able to defeat Thanos before. Finally Adam Warlock determined that Thanos must not be permitted to continue to grow in power. Warlock guided his allies Gamora and Pip the Troll out of their peaceful soul world to the real world. When they entered the real world they needed bodies to exist in, so their souls took over the bodies of 3 people that had died in a car accident, leading into the events of the Infinity Gauntlet. During the Infinity Crusade, Gamora was chosen as one of the goddess' highest-ranking servants as a member of the Holy Guard. Goddess used her own personal beliefs and telepathy to control Gamora to help her create a group consciousness across the universe and rid it of evil. When the battle with Earth's heroes on Paradise Omega, Gamora proved that she was more than enough for some of Earth's mightiest heroes, able to take out Rage, Night Thrasher as well as the Thing. She was stabbed in the stomach by Wolverine during a pause in the battle, but her healing factor eventually revived and healed her. The control over Gamora was eventually released and the goddess was defeated. The Infinity Watch also found themselves at odds with an insane Thor in the Blood and Thunder arc. After Thor gained the power gem, the Watch and their allies, Doctor Strange and the Silver Surfer, confronted Thor and the now materialized Valkyrie. Being backed by the limitless power of the gem, Thor defeated Maxim, Strange, Warlock, Drax, and the Surfer with ease, leaving Moondragon to face Valkyrie and Gamora to face the bloodlust Thor. Despite Thor's overwhelming power advantage, Gamora's skill prevented him from even landing a blow. It looked as though they might actually beat the odds, until Valkyrie gained the advantage over Moondragon and threw her at the unsuspecting Gamora, who was still battling the Thunder God. With both opponents temporarily downed, Thor wasted no time using Mjolnir to bring down a structure burying the collective allies under the rubble. Pip arrived and in a panic-driven whim, teleported Thor, Valkyrie, and himself to the one person he could think of that might be able to stop the insane raging god of thunder, a risky gamble that paid off. After a violent confrontation between Thor and Thanos, Thanos grew weary of the ordeal and immobilized Thor via a rifle of his own design, that encased Thor within a block of pure force. After being joined by the other allies, they collectively failed to cure Thor of his malady, though they did succeed in ending Valkyrie's physical manifestation. The allies soon decided the best course of action was to bring Thor to his father to cure. However, Lord Odin misinterpreted their intent. Odin called for every able-bodied warrior to stop the trespassers, thus Gamora found herself in battle against the Asgardians on Bifrost. Once again her formidable skills were put to the test. She was fighting very effectively until she knocked out Volstagg, who fell on top of Moondragon, incapacitating her. Gamora, now distracted and distraught, Hagun was able to deliver a blow from his mace to the back of her head, knocking her out. Once Odin became involved in the fight, Gamora and the others retreated at least 1 kilometer while Thanos and Surfer engaged Odin in direct combat. Count Abyss. Her true feelings for Adam began to show further when Maya came to the island and her and Adam fell in love because of Count Abyss' love potion. She believed the best answer was to simply kill Maya. Eventually she accepted it for what it was and went to help rescue her from Abyss in his dimension. Things would quickly get out of hand for Gamora again. This time due to Maxim making what he thought was a harmless tease about Gamora's feelings towards Adam and referring to it as puppy love. Due to her still being unable to express herself to Adam and her unease and concerns about Maxim, due to the visions from her gem, Gamora attacked Maxim. The two had fought before, but this time Gamora was aware of her opponent. The fight favored Gamora to triumph until it was broken up when Moondragon, who was currently in a coma, used Drax and his power gem to communicate. Adam was displeased with Gamora's actions and told her so. This in turn angered and caused Gamora to verbally lash out, as it was not her mistrust of Maxim directly concerning Adam's own well-being. Unable to accept Adam siding with Maxim over her, she quit the team and threw her gem at Adam when he asked for it back, which Warlock in turn gave to Maxim. She then had Pip teleport her away from Monster Island and Earth. She would come back to the team in the end just before the gems all vanished and the team dissolved. After the watch, enter the Infinity Abyss saga. Gamora stopped on Baligeist, your typical spaceport, for a little well-deserved rest relaxation. While deciding where to begin, she overhears, thanks to her enhanced senses, what appears to be two locals having a conversation. She finds the subject matter quite concerning. For one of the locals who, unbeknownst to Gamora, interestingly enough resembles Thanos in a cheap disguise, mentions that Thanos himself would be giving a speech later at the local Nietzsche arena. Gamora, having long heard rumors of Thanos' death and thought it to be true, goes to investigate. Gamora was attempting to discern if the being on the stage claiming to be Thanos was in fact he when he, Armor, spots her in the crowd. He orders the crowd, filled with several thousand nihilists from the real Thanos' long-abandoned cult, to attack and destroy her. Unconcerned and with ease, Gamora dodges blasts from Armor from the stage and defeats waves of the cultists on the ground. Her concern mounts and she is forced to flee when Armor taps the stadium's power grid and launches the amplified blast directly into the horde of attackers aimed directly at her. While the cultists embrace their deaths, Gamora uses the chaos to make her way to a spacecraft and get away from the now hostile spaceport. Still uncertain on what to make of the events on Baligeist, Gamora set course for an unnamed planet she knew where Thanos had a base of operations. Upon arrival she discovered a Skrull spacecraft and the base's defenses expertly downed. She soon found herself face to face with the real Thanos, who was still recovering from being attacked by an artificially created singularity black hole. Thanos explained the threat of his clones and the danger they presented towards reality, convincing Gamora to ally herself with him once again to end the threat. Her first task was to lure Armor to his death at the hands of Thanos. Her last significant act in the arc would be stabbing the unsuspecting Thanosi known as X in the back, providing the window needed to ensure his defeat. Later, during the Infinity Abyss story, Gamora and Adam would raise a cosmic being that was known as Adalza. Powers and abilities. Gamora's martial artist skills are considered to be among the highest in the Marvel Universe, as she has mastered 83.4% of most known armed and unarmed techniques from various warfaring cultures. Her fighting skills are so advanced she can defeat opponents who are physically far superior to her. Her skill gives her the ability to outfight others who would be considered more powerful and or stronger than her. She has engaged and fought to a standstill the likes of the Thing, She-Hulk, Rage and even Thanos, all of whom are vastly stronger and more durable than she is. She also defeated a whole platoon of highly trained military personnel in a short time. She has the ability to paralyze or kill opponents by striking vital nerve cluster points on their bodies. Her preferred weapons are swords and knives. Her favorite being God's lair. She has demonstrated the ability to survive in the vacuum of space unaided. Though if she can do this indefinitely is undetermined. Through specialized training also provided by Thanos, she has resistance to an unknown extent against reality distortion and telepathic assaults. Most of Gamora's skeleton has been replaced with an unnamed, nearly unbreakable substance by Thanos.